from the beginning here, we're going to start going through here, and I just want you to assume that I want you to actually match pitch from the beginning. I'll tell you when I want you to mess up, okay?
Okay.
So for now, you can do things accurately.
Okay.
All right? So looking at that second page on our sequence there, starting with hearing. Basic level skill. You want to start with the simplest thing and then move up through the sequence until we find something they can't do. Then you move back a stage and you work it until you can get to that next stage. So the very base level, like I said, if you have a student who can't do this, I will pay you $500. Get them on a Skype call with me, prove it to me. I'm happy to do it. I've been asking for several years and no one's taken me up. So high and low. Can you just tell me if I'm making a high sound or a low sound? Ah.
High.
Low.
Ah. High.
Ah.
High.
Low.
Low.
Good. Good. Wonderful. She's not tone deaf. If you were actually tone deaf, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a male or female voice. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a statement and a question. Pitch is the only difference there. An actual tone, and they do exist. So some very small percentage of the population, they do exist. I haven't met them, but they exist. Probably not in your classroom, but they exist. Shy of a mental or physical disability. I was talking to someone yesterday who has a student who's 75% deaf and doesn't wear hearing aids to class and still loves singing in choir and wants music to be part of their life. So that's a different box than we're dealing with right now. So when you're dealing with disabilities, put that in a separate box. But in the general population, I have not run into someone who can't do that on day one. So then you move through the sequence. Can they identify large pitch motion? Can you tell me if I'm going up or down? Oh!
High.
Oh!
Down.
Yeah, so she's using high and low. That's fine. Use her words. It's harder to use the words I tell her to use. Some of our students, we were talking about this in the car on the way over here, some of our students, when we first say high and low, think that it means volume. When you hear up and down, that means volume, because they'll say turn that down. That doesn't mean lower the pitch on your stereo. It means lower the volume. So we need to use their words at start and then tell them, okay, when you use that word, here's the word that musicians use. Can we try using the musical word? Up and down. Great. Can you identify small pitch motion? That's harder than large pitch motion. So still up or down.
Up.
Down.
Down.
Lovely. Can you identify same? This is something we really need to work, and so many of us, again, like the improvisation, like the listening vocabulary, we neglect to teach whether something is the same pitch or not. Same patterns we often hit, but same pitch. Because when you're sight reading, and most of you can echo this statement, when you sight read, often a repeated pitch is really hard. Because you're so used to moving along the pattern, and then you see two so's in a row, and you skip right over it and jump to the next note. Happens all the time, happens to all my singers. And you might have had this experience of that little joke, that meme that goes around online, the little paragraph that says, all the words in this sentence have the word the repeated twice, and you look back and there's the, but you missed it because your brain just skips right over it. Yeah, it's because your brain has already seen that. It goes, okay, I don't need this, this is superfluous information, I just need the one, that's fine. And you literally ignore it, you don't even notice it. Same thing happens when you read. Unless you've been trained that same repeated pitches are difficult and something you need to pay attention to, your brain is going to say, I've already seen this, I don't need to see it again, I already sang the so. But it's so. You know, no, but I saw the so, it's fine, we'll go on to fa. I can save my time, I'm going to go over here. So pitch consistency. Can you tell me whether it's up, down, or same? And the first skill would be, is it same or different, as we all know. But I'm going to skip a step so we can get through everything today.
Up.
Down.
Same.
Up.
Same.
Good. Very nice. So the hearing set is the easiest set. If there's anything that's a struggle there, you need to spend a lot more time with listening activities, move to music, free dance, sing and repeat, lots of very basic stuff with them. So that they're getting more, that's what that's mostly telling you, is that student has no music in the home, most likely. Or when they do, they're not paying attention to it. Producing something without, a lot of us jump straight to repeating, but producing on your own is easier than producing after someone does something else. Now, producing accurately on your own is harder than repeating after someone else. But just producing a sound without something before it is much easier than trying to match a sound that you just heard. So, can you make a variety of high and low sounds? Can you make me a high sound? Can you make me a low sound? Can you make me a medium sound? Yeah, nice, I like it. And you can do animal calls, meows, owls, all the dogs, all those sort of things. Big dog, little tiny dog. Good, all that sort of stuff is very helpful. Large pitch motion, can you move from bottom to top?
Whoa.
Can you move from top to bottom?
Oh.
Now that we have that, we know we can use that when she's off pitch. I can use the symbol and say, when I do this, can you go from bottom to top?
Whoa.
Good, can you go from top to bottom when I do this? Lovely. Lucinda?
So what about when you get a student that they'll do that, but they're stuck down here like, ugh.
Yep.
You know?
So a part of that might be a range issue. There are some. It depends on how old the boy is. There are some boys who just there's a gap in the middle of their voice, and they're not going to produce pitches there.
So I mean, like second grade.
Yeah, that's less common to be a physiological issue. A big part of that is, I would say, more singing games, more activities, more any songs you can do that have like barnyard animal sounds, stuff like that. Get them to imitate, you know, cat sounds, dog sounds, owls, silly voices. That'll usually get them out of the like, I'm trying to sing a pitch thing, and that might take months. It might take a long time. This sort of sequence I would only use in a one-on-one situation. There's no space for this in the classroom. As I said, the other things from the beginning of the workshop are the things I would do in a classroom setting. At a certain point, you might have the students who aren't responding to the classroom stuff. Lunch, after school, separate private teacher if you can. If you can't do that, forgive yourself. It's okay. Keep doing the classroom stuff. Maybe they'll get there by the end of the year. Maybe they won't, and that's okay, because not everyone does. It's all right. So we'll skip through the rest of that. Can you produce different pitches? And then the first thing you want to do when you're working with a student privately is make sure you match their pitch. So can you produce a pitch that's just sort of in your middle range and just hold it out nice and long? Lovely. Wonderful. I'm going to match your pitch. Can you just hold on to your pitch nice and strong? Lovely. And sometimes they'll play follow the leader unintentionally and start running away from you, and you got to catch them, and that's okay. I had that student who I could never match with her. Becky, sweetest girl in Boston. She would move all around as soon as I started singing with her, but she could hold a pitch if I wasn't singing, and she'd move and move and move, and then I would chase her down, and she'd get down to her lowest note. Okay, stay there. I got you. You can't go any lower. Right there. Hold it. Okay, we got it. I said, what does it feel like when we sing in tune? Everybody, can you join me on ah? Who can describe the feeling when you're singing a note next to a lot of people who are singing the same note? What does it feel like in your body, in your face, in your ears? I see something from Lucinda. What word?
It feels expansive.
Expansive. Lovely word. Love that. Who else has a different word?
Unity.
Unity. I like that word too. Who else has a different word?
Feels like you're clicking Legos together.
Clicking Legos together. Wonderful. I had someone who said it feels like a unicorn horn poking out of my forehead. Like, yeah, that's it. You got it, Billy. That's great. Go for the unicorn horn. And so I said that to Matt. She said it was a warm, fuzzy feeling. I said, yeah, so that warm, fuzzy feeling, what did that feeling? She goes, well, that's what means you're out of tune, right? Like, that's what it feels like when you sing flat. I learned that 4 semesters into choir with Becky, that she thought the in-tune feeling was the out-of-tune feeling. That's something you need to check for, because sometimes you go for 18 months with that singer who can't match pitch, and it's as simple. It wasn't as simple as that. It's not like that day, magically everything was perfect, chase that feeling. But chase that feeling, and in a few months, it was a lot better, because you started seeking out that feeling. So you need to find the words for you, because we say sing in tune. They don't know what that means. In tune doesn't mean a thing to a kid. They often pick it up. Most of our students pick it up automatically just from the context of class. This is not about most students. This is about that bottom 5% who don't pick it up on their own. Find their words. Use their words. When you're in class and they're struggling and they're not quite matching, you go over and say, hey, do you feel that the thing we talked about, the expansive feeling? You said, do you feel that expansive? Do you feel that right now? No, I don't feel. Okay, let's chase that. Let's try to find that. Can you find that expanse with me again? Good. Can we find the Legos? Are the Legos clicking, or are they sitting? Oh yeah, they're sitting in a pile, Mr. Keene. The Legos aren't clicking. Okay, well, let's try to click those Legos. Let's get them. And as soon as you start using their words, it makes it a lot easier for them. Now you need to eventually transition that into real musicianship vocabulary, but their words are going to help. Thank you very much. And then identifying, matching with us or not, use physical motions to move them around. They need to build that slide first, like Lucinda said. If you've got a student who's just sliding in 2 or 3 pitches, you can build up some pitch matching skill within that small range, but you're going to need to go all the way back to producing high and low sounds, maybe just those animal sounds, before you're going to get them to be able to move up to your pitch. If this is my pitch, and all they're able to do is, oh, then you can't match up here. You got to match down there for a while until they expand, and you got to go back a few steps. You can't just keep pounding at that level of the pyramid and expect it to get bigger. Eventually, it's just going to topple over. You need to build out the levels below. If you flip over to the second page, can they follow me? So I want you to produce a pitch. I'm going to match your pitch, and then I'm going to move away. Can you follow my pitch when I move away? So make a pitch for me. Good, she's very accomplished, so she's moving quite quickly, but normally it'll take them a little bit to find it. You might give them a little physical cue to bring it back in, and then you can use those cues in class as well. You make a little eye contact and a little, and they're, oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, I remember, okay, great, and they're there. Now it takes time. That's not gonna happen on day 1. She's a very bright student and moving very quickly. Gotten over halfway through the sequence in about 2 minutes, so. Anyway, I'm running up against my time, so I apologize. We're not going to get through that second end there, but you do see that we go all the way through matching to what I'm doing, which doesn't come till almost the very end, because it's a very hard skill to hear my pitch and match my pitch. And at the very bottom, hearing patterns and repeating them. Repeating patterns is harder than repeating single pitches. So at every stage, think what I'm doing, if my students are struggling, Can I make this simpler for them? Can I make this easier? Can we get a quick round of applause for our volunteer? You can go back.